say, for example, that I considered anyone, a criminal. Why ever, I ask you all, would I trouble him ahead of time, even if I had evidence against him? There are those, of course, whom I'm obliged to arrest promptly, but this man may have quite a different character. So why not let him wander around town a bit? No, I can see you're not quite following, so let me illustrate the point more clearly. If, for example, I lock him up too soon, I may end up providing him with, as it were, moral support. I see your faces, but that's how it is, especially with certain individuals, because you get all kinds of people in only one procedure. And even supposing there is evidence, still, evidence is a double-edged thing, for the most part anyway. And as you all know, I'm an investigator, and hence, I admit, a weakling. I'd like to set out the case with, as it were, mathematical clarity. I'd like a bit of evidence that looks like 2 times 2. Like direct and incontrovertible proof. But if I lock him up before time, even if I'm quite sure it's him, I may end up depriving myself of the chance to get any more out of him. Why? Because I'll be defining his situation for him, as it were. I'll be defining him psychologically, so to speak, and reassuring him. And then he'll withdraw from me into his shell. It'll finally got through to him that he's a prisoner. I'm told that down there in Sebastopol, straight after the Battle of Alma, all the clever folk were terrified at the prospect of the enemy launching an open attack at any moment and taking Sebastopol there and then. But when they saw that the enemy had chosen a regular siege instead and was digging the first line of trenches, why, the clever folk, I'm told, were simply delighted and felt quite reassured. It meant that the whole thing would drag on for at least another 2 months, because a regular siege might take forever. Oh. Again, with your faces. Again, you don't believe me. Oh. I suppose you all have a point too. Yes, you're right. You're all right. These are all one-offs. The case I've just described really is a one-off. But here's what we need to bear in mind, dear sweet agents of justice. Typical cases, the very same ones according to which all the legal forms and principles are tailored and calculated and written up in books, simply don't exist. By virtue of the fact that each and every deed, each and every, for want of a better example, crime, just as soon as it occurs in reality, immediately becomes a one-off. In fact, sometimes it's like nothing that's ever gone before. Certain such cases are utterly comic. But if I leave a gentleman when alone, don't bring him in, don't disturb him, just let him know, or at least suspect, every hour and every minute, that I know everything. All the ins and outs. That I'm following him day and night, keeping him forever in my sight. Just let him feel the constant weight of suspicion and fear. Then, mark my words, he'll become quite dizzy. Yes, indeedy. He'll come to me himself. And he might even go and do something after, which 2 and 2 really will make 4, and it will all look perfectly mathematical. And very nice that would be, too. And why should I worry about him walking freely around town? Let him wander as much as he likes for now. After all, I already know I've got my catch and he can't run away. I mean, where would he run to? Oh, but this is just superficial nonsense. What does it mean, run away? That's mere form. It's not the main thing. The reason he won't run away from me isn't just that he's got nowhere to run away to. It's that he won't run away psychologically. What a lovely little phrase. The laws of nature won't let him run away. Even if he did have somewhere to go. Ever seen a moth near a candle? Well, that's how he'll be. Forever circling around me like a moth around a candle. Freedom will sour, he'll start thinking too much, entangling himself, worrying himself to death, and if that's not enough, he'll even present me with some mathematical trick, like 2 times 2. I just need to give him a long enough entr'acte. And that's how he'll be. Going round and round in circles, the radius narrowing and hop. Straight into my mouth, where I'll swallow him up. And how very nice that will be. You don't believe me?